Saturday Riot Starter TV is in the building. What's happening? Good to see y'all. It's another motherfucking day here on the plantation. Looking forward to rocking with y'all to the end of time. Tonight, I wanted to flip it a little bit different. We've been having a whole lot of political folks on here. We've had everyone from France Fanon's daughter to Patrice Lumumba's daughter to Mumia, you know what I'm saying? And all types of other folks. It's your first time tuning in. You know what I'm saying? Make sure that you subscribe to Black Power Media. It is the network to go to. You know what I'm saying? So, we want to keep you in tune with everything that's going on, everything from the pavement to the concrete. You know what I mean? We want to keep it moving and keep it as solid as possible. Tonight, like no other, I wanted to bring in a brother who is no stranger. You know what I'm saying? No stranger to Africans home and abroad. You know what I mean? A cat that literally came from the pavement. You know what I'm saying? This brother right here, 3 Grammys, a hip hop icon. You've seen him in all types of films, from American Gangster to ATL and so many other joints in between, different TV shows, different publications, so on and so forth. I am happy to have, for the first time on Riot Starter TV, I want to welcome to the stage tonight the main man, TIP.
What's going on, Kane? How you doing?
Man, look here, man. Trying to be as cool as you, man. Trying to keep it expeditiously, as you would say. What's popping with you, man?
Man, I'm chilling, bro. I'm chilling, man. I can't call it, man. Every day above ground is a great day. Blessed.
No doubt. No doubt. You looking a little relaxed today, man. Usually they ain't your shit. Usually you bouncing off the walls and shit, man. What's happening, man?
What you mean by that? I might be getting old, bro.
That's what it is.
That's
bullshit
old
right there, man. Go ahead on with that shit. Treat me like you at the Nation of Islam meeting and shit. We gonna loosen up tonight. We get it's Red Cup special tonight. We all right. You know what I mean?
Man, so, I got my clear cup. I got my clear cup special, man.
Already know. Yes. So, man, definitely, like I said, we've been trying to put together an interview for the last since you was like in the 3rd grade and shit. You know what I mean? But finally, it came through.
hey, listen, but we reached a pivotal moment. In our relationship and in our interaction, where I had to make sure that you understood, although I can give you the authority and I can give you the clarification of saying, yes, I will do it, I do not run my calendar. So as far as putting dates together and times and shit, I'm a fail at that every time. So, but what we did great was we connected the dots appropriately and got you with the people who, got us right here in front of the screen today. So let's get it.
That's what it do. No doubt. That's what it is, man. Listen, man, as you know what I'm saying? The last time I saw you, we were in a meeting with some OGs, Panthers and whatnot. And, you, Luda, Killer Mike, a few other cats or whatever, right? So It was a little more, it was protocol. But tonight we want to take it to another era, right? Because of the fact that I think that oftentimes folks see, cats after the package has been presented. You know what I'm saying? After things have been developed. What I want to do tonight is I want the people to get to know you, because of the fact that, you can't really understand a cat if you don't know where the fuck they coming from. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
If you don't know what it took to make a person who they are, then you'll be confused, or you'll try to judge them and say, well, this motherfucker don't act like this one, and how come they don't act like that, so on and so forth. I'm familiar with Atlanta. I've been here since 2004. went to school here in my junior year back in the 80s. I ain't gonna say when, you know what I'm saying, and in College Park. But I know I know that coming from where I'm from, a lot of cats look at Atlanta and they think it's just, you know, the black Mecca and everything's beautiful. You know what I'm saying? And just black people in abundance. That's a part of it. Right. But what tell us about the part you came from? What made you who you are? What part of the pavement?
I mean, to be honest, where I came from is a part of that part that you speak of. But there can be no good without bad. You dig what I'm saying? So I think the universal law of balance, it's gonna always put some conflict and controversy in there to kind of offset some of the good, or a lot of the good. And it's up to us to kind of focus on the positive and have that compensate for the negative. But to go back to what you were saying before, as far as about, you know, people not being able to understand or to really grasp a hold of the true essence of a person. In my opinion, there are three versions of us. There's how we see ourselves, there's how the world sees us, and there's who we really are. You know what I'm saying? So I think that sometimes as artists, we push heavy on how we see ourselves. You know what I mean? And now in the age of social media, we're getting back. You know, this is how we see you. You know what I mean? And in the best case scenario, we get to arrive to, okay, well, this is who I really am. And, you know, but a person can't really receive you if they've never experienced anything like you before.
Without a doubt.
You did, like, everyone is pretty much a sum of their experiences. If you've never experienced a person that's as articulate as Kalonji, and you don't know how to receive Kalonji, you know what I mean? It's gonna come across like it can't be real, because I've never been exposed to anyone of this magnitude before, who keeps it this real, who's this genuine, who's this sincere, who's this passionate, who, you know, can kick it with the cats, you know, and while they smoking and drinking, but still can stand up and speak on behalf of our people and not compromise his integrity. I've never been exposed to that before, so I don't know how to receive it. And therefore, I'm going to project that onto Kalonji.
Word.
And I understand that, so I understand why people don't really understand how to receive me sometimes.
No doubt, no doubt. So I mean, and it's like we ain't never just sit down and get an understanding of where the fuck we come from, right? I know where you come from. I know Bankhead. Bankhead is where I come from in a different area. You understand what I'm saying? I'm from Bridgeport, Connecticut. I'm 45 minutes away from the Bronx. Every fucking thing that goes on out there goes on it. Bankhead it's a reminder of where I come from. You know what I'm saying? It's like
Bridgeport, Connecticut. Bridgeport, Connecticut could be equivalent to, say, like Riverdale or Jonesboro.
Nah.
Or Latonia.
Nah,
like
not at all.
It's 45 minutes away from a very treacherous part of the city. Somewhat removed, but the action still remained the same.
Not even that. It's the treachery's there. For that, you gotta talk to folks like Fat Joe. You gotta talk to folks like Wu and shit like that, who've experienced that shit from a street level. We got like we had about 9 projects, high rises, the whole 9. The only difference between New York and Connecticut, where I'm from, would be the fucking area code and the zip code. You understand what I'm saying? Same TV, same crime, same radio, the whole 9. You know what I mean? So it trust me when I say it's more Bankhead, it ain't suburban.
I'm not saying that. Listen. No, when I said that, I'm not saying that to kind of create a picture of the suburbs,
No
I'm
doubt.
saying I moved to Riverdale
In
when
relation.
I was in 8th grade. You know what I mean? With the Riverdale Middle, Riverdale High School, got kicked out of Riverdale High School, and all Clayton County public schools in 9th grade. And, you know, I went back to Douglas High. But it's not saying to say as though that's the suburbs. It's saying that to say this is X amount of miles from the metro area.
Gotcha.
However, it's still the same activity going on out here as it is going on in the inner city.
No doubt. And not for me, and for the record, that ain't to diss Riverdale, Jonesboro, none of that shit. You know what I'm saying? Because niggas is real wherever the fuck they at. You know what I'm saying? It ain't where you from, it's where you at mentally. So
absolutely.
Yeah. So with that being said, right? So here it is. You come from a certain environment, right? And
Right.
you've transcended based on your skill, based on your talents, based on your business acumen, right? You was able to take this shit, take nothing and turn it into something. You know what I'm saying? Which is a beautiful thing, which is what they would say the American dream. How realistic, you know what I'm saying, as you was coming up and you was trying to approach this, how realistic was it for you? Did you always feel that you going to transcend, or you just right place, right time? What you feel about that?
Well, I will say that this is always what I had planned for me to do. If you go back as far as Grove Park Elementary School, when people asked me what I wanted to do when I grew up, I always said a rapper. I always said this is what I planned to do for myself. As I got older, of course, I was discouraged by rejection. You know what I mean? Like when Crisscross came out, that was the first time. Crisscross and ABC and Damage. You know what I mean? Those were the first guys I saw that were my age that were rocking with grown cats. And I was like, yo, I thought I had to wait till I was grown to get on. I could do this now.
Right.
So then that kind of lit a fire under me, and I just like started researching. And my uncle, you know what I'm saying, they would get money. They would get money back then in the crack era. And I told him what I wanted to do, and he always told me, okay, well, you research and learn and gain understanding of everything that it takes to make it with everything that you need to, you know, to become a professional. And we'll put the resources behind you. And that's when I dove into books. I started researching. I started learning. I started reading. I read books like All You Need to Know About the Music Business. Read books like Hitman, and just learn what's a good deal, what's a bad deal. I learned how they split the pie between the producer and the writers. Right. You know what I mean, on a record. I learned about mechanical royalties. I just learned all of these philosophies, and not just these ideologies that applied to a world I had never even been introduced to. But I did this under the instruction of my uncle, which was like, you know, those were my mentors. And so I did this, and right when I was ready to come back and be like, all right, I'm ready, he caught a case and he went to prison. So now here I am with all this information, and I still didn't have a way to apply it. So I think at that point in my life, I'm probably 11. That's when Crisscross came out. I'm like, oh, wait a minute. And I found out, like, you know, Jermaine found them at a mall. I'm like, I'm at the mall every week. You know what I'm saying? What the fuck? And, you know, I just began to try and put whatever pieces together that I had before me to try to create some sort of a path. And that led me to getting in the studio at 2560. That was That was the first studio I ever set foot in. 2560 in Ben Hill on Niskey Lake, owned by Reggie, OG Reggie from Brick, who just he just passed. And he was the first person who welcomed me into the studio and showed me, you know, how to record, how to count bars. You know what I mean? Just it kind of set the structure and the foundational structure up for me to build on top of, to become, you know, who I am or the artist that I am today. And from there, sent it out to different record companies. And when that didn't work, when we weren't received with open arms as a 12, 13-year-old, I'm like, man, fuck this. It ain't gonna work for me. And that's when I was introduced into the drug trade. That's when I kind of like was like, well, shit, I may as well do this. This ain't working. I may as well go ahead and do what's the first thing available to me. And that's when I dove head first. Like at first I was just a kid with a dream.
Right.
I was a kid with a dream, and I was trying to figure out how to connect the dots to make it, you know, to the finish line to become who I wanted to become for myself, get my mama out the ghetto, and, you know, just utilize my God-given talents to the best of my ability. And when that didn't work out the way I thought it should, I resorted to alternatives, you know what I mean? And that took me down a path, whether for better or for worse, that took me down a path that ultimately it culminated the experiences that led to the narrative of trap music.
No doubt. So you had the thing that saved you, correct me if I'm wrong, was the fact that you had community. You had your uncles, even though, you know what I'm saying, he like you said, he got trapped up, whatever, but you still had your grandparents, you still had folks in the neighborhood, even though you was doing the shit that I was doing, and damn near every youngster that I ever ran across, you have this dream and you in the hood, and then all of a sudden it's like, this shit ain't gonna pay the bills. Everybody else is eating around me. Let me try this right here. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, that is to a certain degree. At the time though, right? Everybody around me was so preoccupied with chasing their bag, getting their bread. It wasn't really nobody that had no time to turn back and look back to me and say, hey man, look, this is what we need to do. This is how you need to do this. It was, everybody was kind of like full speed ahead. When my uncle went to prison, it's like, okay, some motherfuckers who felt like they might have should have went to prison with him, they had to hit the road and make sure that they didn't, you know, get caught up on the same case and so on and so forth. And then other people was like, okay, well, the breadwinner gone, we got to double up our efforts. Everybody kind of, can you still hear me?
Yeah, I got you. Hey.
Okay. Everybody kind of like, you know, it was a scramble, a bit of a scramble, kind of like, you know, every man for itself, and like to a degree. And I recognize that. However,
You faded out now. I can't hear you now. Your joint is muted. Yeah. Your mic is muted. We here live and direct with T.I. We talking about life. And you know, we're gonna get into some other things or whatever. Definitely glad he can join us tonight. Here at Riot Starter TV, we want to make sure that we bring all types of guests on. We don't want to get caught in a stalemate. I think it's important for us not to be caught in a fishbowl or in a bubble, you know what I mean, and only talk to certain types of people. We want to talk to the community at large. We want to talk to people from all walks of life and try to get to understand and get to know, you know, why we move the way we move, why we think the way we think, so on and so forth. You know what I mean? But definitely make sure you share this video while we rocking. Make sure you subscribe to Black Power Media. Again, if it's your first time coming here, follow us on Twitter, on IG, etc. And you know, let's stay on the right side of the barricades. We're gonna allow him to get his technical situations in order and we're gonna take it from there. We're gonna go to a quick little intermission and come back with you real quick on Riot Starter TV. Up, we don't have to. Look like we good.
Yo.
You back in effect now, man.
Is it? I'm still here. I ain't hearing it in here. I'm hearing it.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yo.
You good? You good? 1, 2.
All right, yeah, we good now.
All right, cool. All right, must be them Apple joints, man. Those the dregs.
Ain't no motherfucking telling. Ain't no telling. Might be time to buy some new ones.
No doubt.
So,
So,
what I was saying was, I'm sorry. So I think my saving grace was my father. My father lived in New York, and my father was also a hustler. And he was a little bit further along than my uncles were. Right. You know what I mean? And he was also a little bit older in age, you know, than my uncles were. So my father, you know, when I went to see him, I didn't have a care in the world. Like, my pop was rich. Like, he had made it off of Sugar Hill, you know, through the heroin epidemic. Yeah. And he was from Atlanta, but he moved to New York by his words, because them country niggas in Atlanta ain't gonna never let you have that. That what he told me. You know what I'm saying? So he felt like he had to make it to New York in order for him to fulfill his vision and reach his full potential, his fullest potential as an entrepreneur. And that's what him and his brothers did. And they did it. They did that shit to death. So when I went to see him, you know, I saw a different level of hustle. So, like, my uncles and them, like, they was in the streets, and, you know, I saw them do shit like buy my grandmama new cars, bring her. She was the first person on our street with a side-by-side refrigerator. You know what I'm saying? Like, I saw, like, just grand gestures and saw them giving back to the community. And I learned that from my uncles. Right. Whereas my father taught me how to sit above it all, observe, and apply your efforts where best suited, and stay out of shit that could pull you down in it. You know what I mean?
No doubt. Yeah.
But I spent much more time with my uncles than I did with my father. I spent the summers with my father. I spent every day with my uncles. Right. So there's the balance.
So you got the grand hustle from your father. You know what I'm saying? He was able to oversee the shit and tell you what side of the barricades to be on.
No doubt. I think my father, he was somewhat of a consigliere. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, a lot of young cats, like, who was hustling in the game and whatnot, they'd come to my father for his blessings or for his advice, or, you know what I mean? And I'd sit while they talking, not knowing what they're talking about. And of course they're talking in code, speaking over my head for the most part. And I just saw how valuable and important his advice was.
No doubt.
You did. And that meant a lot to me. That meant a lot to me. Like, that showed me the position and the place that he held in his culture, his society, and his, you know what I mean, his place in the world. And I always wanted to be, you know, that was always like the epitome of my existence, was to be in a position where, you know, people value your opinion, people value your advice. You know what I mean? You do what you can to help others. People come to you when they got to figure shit out, to sort through it. Basically, a master solution strategist of sorts. The motherfuckers come to you and pick your brain when they find themselves in a tough spot. That's just kind of like, that's a standard that I set for myself very early on in life.
So we see that with the artists, a lot of these young artists around you. You got like Lil Baby, Young Thug. You know what I'm saying? You know, I even say, you know, in Rise and Power, Young Dolph. You know what I'm saying? Because of the fact that it's crazy, because today, and I want to dedicate my show. Today was the day that my cousin, he was 16, 20 years ago, he was shot down in the streets. And it's crazy because now looking at it, young Dolph was 36. They was the same age. And young Dolph managed to live 20 years longer than him. You know what I mean? So he was killed on this day 20 years ago. I want to ask you, like, you know, I've seen you out there in the streets trying to talk to a lot of these youngsters and whatnot. A lot of times the cameras ain't out there. You know what I mean? A lot of times folks don't see that side of the things. I want to ask you, like,
everything ain't for everybody to see.
Without a doubt. But I want to ask you, because I know you had a track with Young Dolph, right?
Sure. Yes. We got a few of them, actually.
Word.
Man, Dolph was, man, he was really like a distant relative. You dig? Like, he came up here and met, like, I was introduced to Dolph through Dolph. Okay. So Dolph, who also tragically lost his life to gun violence.
No doubt. Yeah.
Some avoidable nonsense, just some crabs in a barrel, unnecessary bullshit that we go through, you know, most often in our hometowns when it comes from small, undeveloped areas where people don't really have a concept of evolution.
Right.
You know what I mean? But Dolph was introduced to us, and at the same time, Moneybag Yo was also introduced to us,
right.
Through, you know, Dolph. And he just always kind of like jailed right in, bro. He always was just solid. You know what I mean? Just like, yeah, man, bro, shit, yeah, whatever, what we doing? And just trying to find ways to contribute whatever he could contribute to the growth and success of whatever we were doing together, or whatever he could contribute to whatever our individual endeavors were. So I kind of, after Dolph passed, watching Dolph's evolution was kind of like, damn, Dolph knew. You know what I mean? Like, that shit dope. And the same thing for Moneybag. And the shit just, it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate, and it's a terrible day because that brother meant so much to so many.
No doubt.
He meant so much to so many, and it was just so much more for him to do. It was so much more that we feel that we saw he had to accomplish. But at the end of the day, our eyes ain't all knowing, or all seeing. Like, at the end of the day, we don't know what happened in his life to where he had maybe reached a point where he learned everything it was for him to learn. He done everything it was for him to do. So a higher power greater than a human picked this number and said, man, it's time for you to transition, man. It's time for you to graduate.
No doubt. And this was like his third time getting shot in 3 different states, right? From what I was saying.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. What I'm saying is, how I look at death.
Mission complete.
I mean, exactly. I look at death as a, you know, more times than not, as a acknowledgement of a job well done here and now. It's time to transition on to the next phase. When it's something that we don't understand, it's a reason we don't understand it. To me, that's just how I see it. I think that the pain we feel, the grief, and, you know, all of that that's human. Like, that's a mortal feeling.
No doubt.
But there are some things in this universe that exist that are immortal. You know what I mean? And energy cannot be destroyed, only transferred from one place to another. Therefore, the energy of Dolph still lives on, just like the energy of Nipsey still lives on. You know what I mean? The shell or the body in which that energy was housed, it may be no more. However, that energy still lives on.
No question. Now, it seemed like you know, of course, you get a lot of cats, you know, talking about, you know, I ain't gonna get into the whole youth today bullshit, but you know, it's been a lot of rappers, a lot of just young folk, period, you know, just that's being murdered in the streets. I mean, over the past couple years, it's just been like, I mean, there was a point when, you know, it was Big and Pop and then Big L. You could count in between, you know what I'm saying? But now it just seems like it's almost like a trend. What would you, as far as like you know, you was able to navigate and survive this whole program, man? What is there anything you could say to the young folks, to the artists and shit, and say like, you
Man,
know,
first of all, the first thing I'm gonna say is it was no other deciding factor outside of just the grace of God that kept me here.
where
I've done as much or more to seal my fate. You know what I mean? I could have had a similar or more egregious outcome than a lot of the people we talking about any given night, given the circumstances. So I ain't never finna say that I did this right and they did this wrong. That
no
ain't
doubt,
is
yeah,
no more than nothing other than just the grace and mercy of God and purpose. I feel like perhaps they had completed their mission
no doubt,
and got called. Perhaps I still have work to do.
no
I
doubt.
think that's the way I look at it. You know what I'm saying? I don't think there's no monolithic path to paradise. I think everybody got their own journey. Everybody got their own walk to walk. Of course, we could do it better or worse, given, you know, the time, effort, and energy we put into change and evolution and learning and growing. But I ain't, you know, I don't have all the answers. I ain't the all knowing, all seeing. You know what I mean? I done fucked up more than 99% of motherfuckers out there. You dig what I'm
Without a
saying?
doubt, we both have, yeah.
Yeah. So I don't want to ever put myself in a
Oh yeah,
position
yeah,
where I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
you know,
Nah, and asking that question, it wasn't no, you know, Almighty Ti. What wisdom do you have? Like, I ain't saying that. I'm saying,
nah, I mean, but I think not speaking to you, it's important for that's what's on my heart though.
right?
That was on my heart because I can't
Yeah.
never give myself credit.
Nah, I
You know,
respect that shit.
but
It ain't, yeah, it ain't no. Nah, listen, man. A motherfucker can't tell you how to feel in your motherfucking heart and mind. You know what I'm
that's
saying?
right.
That's the first problem. Everybody want to tell everybody else how the fuck to live.
That's
That's
right.
why, like I said, I wanted to have you on here. I ain't want to have you on here to try to draft you into the movement, nigga. But at the same time,
Right.
I'm saying, you know, whatever you can do and whatever you can see, you know what I mean, to help navigate this motherfucker, then that's what you do.
Well, I think the first learning from my experiences, what I have learned from trial and error, from fucking up and learning from the results of me fucking up, what I've learned is that the energy you put out is the energy you will receive. You create your own reality. So the things you speak turn into the things you do, turn to the habits you form. And if those habits are consistently repeated, then that is the being you become, and that is what you will inevitably attract. So I think me understanding that, speaking positivity, first of all, speaking positive, speaking life, you know what I mean? Speaking peace and blessings. That's why I always try to begin and end every greeting with a man, especially a black man, with love and respect. You know what I mean? Not saying that I love and respect you, but I wish you love and respect in the world.
That's how I
You know
feel
what I'm
about
saying?
your ass. Yeah,
I
yeah,
want to
yeah.
speak positivity into the rest of your day or the rest of your existence. You know, even if I may not know you enough to love you, may not have experienced you enough to respect you, I'm still gonna say love and respect because that's what I hope for you to receive. Because if I hope for you to receive it, then hopefully the universe will
Reward
spill some of that on me. You dig what I'm saying?
Without a doubt.
So, I mean, we always think that it's black and white, like it's a line here, and you're on this side of the line, and if you want to get what's on the other side of the line, you just cross the line. And that ain't the way it happens. Most of the time, like, you know how you shoot pool, right?
No doubt, of course.
All right, so you know how sometimes, man, you find yourself in a position where you ain't got no shot.
Right.
You dig what I'm saying?
Bounce. Right.
So the only way to create a shot is to put the cue ball where you want it to be. So next time you have a shot, you get a better look at it. And I feel like that's the way achieving some of the things that we want to achieve for ourselves is. Whereas we always don't have a straight in the pocket shot. Sometimes it's a bank shot.
Right.
You got to go over here and do this just to get back over there to do that. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's, you you got to, do a safety shot where you bounce it off the wall and hit it and make a defense shot to where the other person don't have a good shot against you and you get a better look at the ball later. Like, I just feel like that's the way life, you got to take what the universe gives you. And you can't treat every situation like it's the same shot. No
question. I like that analogy. And some of these analogies you be having sometime, I don't know where the fuck you be going. But right there.
Right. But if you ask me about it, I can talk you through it. You know what I'm saying? Just ask me about it. Most of the time I lay it on you and I leave it for you to figure out on your own when I don't have opportunity to speak through it with you. You know what I mean?
Okay. Shit. One time you laying some shit on me, I like, this nigga high than a motherfucker. Oh, I might have been. I know what the fuck you talking about.
I might have been. Do you remember?
I don't know. I had to get high to think about what you said. Yeah, I was like, I think I got that shit. This nigga came with it this time. But anyway.
Man. Hey, listen, man. To be honest with you, all I ever want to do is challenge my thoughts, challenge my understanding. Because there is no evolution, there is no growth, there is no pushing the generation or society forward without challenging what you already think you know.
Without question.
If you just go along with it the way that you think it's supposed to be, you never achieve true evolution.
No doubt.
What I mean? So I feel, so when I said there's how we see ourselves, how the world sees us, and who we really are. How I see myself as a philosopher.
Okay. The
world sees me as a rapper. And who I really am, I'm really just a father to my children. A son to my mother, and a husband to my wife. But I see myself as a philosopher. I see myself as somebody who's here to offer perspective and alternative views to the way that the world has already kind of like set forth, and they just want us to fall in line and just follow the norm. And I'm like, nah, hold up. What about this? Has anybody ever considered this? Has anybody ever thought about this? Has anybody ever taken this under consideration? And that's just like, I feel like that's my place. I feel, this is just me. My thoughts of myself. I feel like that's what I do unique.
No doubt. So you like the bankhead Socrates and shit, right? Nigga get high and start writing all kinds of shit down.
Most of the time, hey, look, man, my best ideas come when I'm stark raving sober. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Okay. Start raving sober.
All right. It's good to know. The next time I know, like, this nigga must be sober this time. But I'm fucking with you, man. Listen, I wanna and I ain't gonna hold you too long, but I know that right now, as you know, ATL gentrification is crazy. You know what I'm saying? And I commend folks like you and Killer Mike out there, purchasing shit, you know what I'm saying, trying to rebuild shit. Sure. Y'all took my fish market in Bankhead and shit. I'm like, what the fuck is the fish market now? The joint y'all bought, man. And
Bankhead Seafood?
Yeah.
We didn't take it.
Can't never catch the motherfucking truck. I mean, like, what's going on?
We're evolving. Now, see, the thing is, okay, so let me tell you about that venture. So that venture began, okay, I was a patron of Bankhead Seafood ever since kindergarten.
Yeah,
let's call it.
You get like 80 pieces of fish for $5.
I just don't remember. Absolutely. You get big plates of fish, feed the whole family.
Yeah.
$4.99, $6.99,
You
whatever.
good. Right.
So as a grown man, I walk in, it's T.I. Matter of fact, I'll tell you when it was. If you recall, there was a video that I shot with me and DC Young Fly. It was called Broadcast Live.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
All right. So on Broadcast Live, me and DC, we walk right into Bankhead Seafood, order some fish, and it's about him trying to get me to go to West Side Day or whatever. And I'm like, man, I ain't trying to do that, man. You know, blah, blah, blah. So that's kind of like the narrative of the video. In between shots, the owner, operator, and matriarch of that establishment, she said to me, T.I., why don't you just buy this place from me so I can retire? And I'm like, okay, I got to see what it's worth. What you want for it? And you know, and that began the discussion. I put her in contact with some people who could do the due diligence to find out whether or not that it was really a realistic possibility to do it. And we came on a deal. And I paid her. I bought it. And coincidentally, ran into Killer Mike right after I closed. I paid cash for it, ran into Killer Mike and said, and we were talking about how our people that's from Atlanta and people who we fuck with, we should be doing more shit together. I'm like, yeah, you're right. And in that conversation, I just felt like, man, you'd be a whole ass nigga if you don't just goddamn offer him the opportunity. You just did something that you could include him on. Why don't you just? And so some in my head said, man, just tell him about it. So I was like, man, well, I just did something that you might could join in and we could do it together. And so I introduced the opportunity of Bankhead Seafood to him. And when he heard it, he was like, hell yeah, send it to my people. And I did. And he came in, gave me half the money back that I paid. And we became partners. Right. And months later, we both found ourselves on the mayor's transition team, Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms' transition team.
Yeah, I saw y'all transitioning asses. Go ahead.
Yeah. And that put us on sitting alongside giants in the business industry, like Noel Khalil, God rest his soul, who just passed away. Noel Khalil was a mentee of Herman J. Russell. He was the founder of Columbia Developments, who developed a lot of, when they tore projects down and they had to redevelop them and make them livable. You know what I'm saying? Like he put a lot of time, effort, energy, and attention into detail to make sure that people could still live affordably, but still have things to kind of be proud of. Because I think his philosophy was, if a person can be proud of where they live, then they'll take care of it. No, they can be proud. They can come somewhere that they proud of where they live, and they're gonna take care of it. And that's gonna keep people from running properties in the ground. And of course, people like us who develop, we may make less money, but it's still inevitably gonna be better for the greater good, because people ain't just, you know what I'm saying, running wild and just, living recklessly.
They got somewhere they can respect.
Right. They got somewhere they can respect, somewhere they can be proud of. And we met him on the transition team, at the transition team meeting. And he took a liking to us, and we rode him around together and separately. So I rode him around, showed him all my properties, everything I had going on. Mike rode him around, showed him everything he had going on. We showed him what we had together, which was Bankhead Seafood. And he asked if he could be a part of Bankhead Seafood. And we said, hell yeah. And so then he came on the team to join us, and we've been on this journey ever since. He since then has transitioned, got peace and blessings to his family, and everyone whose lives he's impacted, like ours. He taught us a lot. He invested a lot of time, effort, and energy into us. Gave us a lot of game. But it's mentorships like that that push the generation forward.
No doubt. So with that, you just did an excellent transition. That's your ability to be a philosopher and shit. You're able to take that motherfucking thing to the next place and shit. So you got a new property dealing with affordable housing, right?
It's not new.
It's not new. Okay.
It's not new.
Tell us about it, man, because I see you out there with the hard hat on and shit like that. You know what I'm saying?
Well, man, to be honest with you, I had the pleasure of acquiring a parcel of land that happened to formerly be a Kmart and a grocery store in my community, where my grandmama shop, where I shop. You know, it's of my community, our neighborhood. And I had this parcel of land, and to be honest with you, I ain't gonna lie to you, I was gonna make it a skating rink. I was gonna gut it out, make it a skating rink, or something like that. Because I felt like in the community, there's nowhere for like kids entertainment. You did. Ain't nowhere for people in this community to come throw their kids' birthday parties. Ain't nowhere for people to come and like kids. Like ain't no kids entertain. I felt like if you get the youth occupied, then you know what I'm saying, you can kind of cut down on crime, cut down on recklessness and all kinds of other stuff if you occupy the minds of the children. So that was my vision. Now, after I found myself on the transition team and I began to understand that a major focus in the mayor's office was affordable housing within the city of Atlanta. And they were trying to, find ways to develop more affordable housing within the city of Atlanta. Once I saw that, and I said, well, you know what, maybe a better use of this particular property would be to partner with a developer or a team of developers that can kind of do two things. One, show me how to be a better developer and how to, connect the dots from point A to point Z. And two, it'll be, a greater benefit to the community. And I coincidentally bumped into some people who connected me with other people who introduced the opportunity of doing a mixed use community with 140 some odd units, with retail at the bottom, about 3 floors of affordable housing above it. And I felt like that was just it was an all around win for everybody. I feel like the community wins, the city wins, the developers win, and I win. You know what I mean? So that's what I agreed to do. And we're like 40 to 45% done with it. And hopefully next year, if all things go as they should, next year we'll be cutting the ribbon.
When you say affordable housing, it's going to be the people that live in the neighborhood, they're going to still be able to afford it, or affordable housing, like?
That's my definite intention. Like that's what me and the rest of the partners within the partnership, that's what we all set out to do. Those were our marching orders. You know what I mean? This is what we want to do. It's 100% affordable housing. But it's not going to be built as though it's affordable. It's going to be built aspirational. You know what I mean? And with a lot of the grants and a lot of the things that were made available federally and locally, you know what I'm saying? We were able to kind of cut corners and pass those savings down to the community.
Word. I'm gonna hit you one more question. I'm gonna let you go because I know you got shit to do. Knowing you, the night just getting started, the day might just be getting started. Depending on what
It's
the fuck's in that
halftime.
glass.
It's definitely halftime.
Depending on what the fuck's in the glass, we know that.
It's definitely, man. This ain't nothing but some tea, man. You can
Ain't
see
nothing but some
bad.
tea?
It ain't nothing but some tea, man.
Man, you better get on some Uncle Nearest or something, man. You got me feeling
Nah,
bad.
man. This ain't nothing but some tea,
Oh, nah.
man.
Oh, okay, you sober today. You figure you was talking to me
Hey,
and shit,
brother.
you gonna be.
Man, to be honest with you, man, it's still early.
No doubt. Okay. So later on, you'll be somewhere
Who
else.
knows? Who knows,
doubt.
bro?
No
I'm
doubt.
not, I'm not gonna put myself in a holier than thou position. Like it ain't possible that I might have a drink or two.
Hey man,
But
live.
I'm not going to just throw myself in the department of debauchery before before necessary.
Nigga said before necessary. You say you go.
Who knows, bro?
Yeah, anything can happen. It's Thursday.
Hey man, I'm keeping my options open.
Hey man, I ain't mad at you. Fuck that. Listen, man. Last question, man. You know what I'm saying? And it's funny me interviewing motherfuckers. This ain't really my bag, but you know,
Hey man, you do a great job.
Well, thank you, brother. I'm trying to, trying to be like you and shit.
And also, I want to commend you. I want to commend you in being a community leader and a fearless organizer, and being boots on the ground and being consistent and active on behalf of our people. Because as you mentioned, seeing me places, I've seen you just as many places. You know what I mean? And I know that when I may not be there or I may not be aware, I could depend on you. You know what I'm saying? And that's the reason why, I'm going to always kind of try and make a way and make myself available to do shit that I need to do. Because it's people like you who empower people like me.
No doubt.
To do what we can to help the community. So I appreciate you and your efforts.
Well, my man, that's an honor because of the fact that, like I said, I just want to be on the right side of the barricades at the end of the day.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Right. Be on the right side of the barricades. But last question, man. Definitely appreciate that. You mentioned the mayor's transition team. We know that there's been moments in this city. Atlanta's a beautiful city. Let me start with that. You know what I'm saying? I love the people here. Of course, you love the people here. You've been here longer than me. It's a beautiful place. At the same time, of course, politics get dirty. And being here, this is one of those towns, one of those cities where the artists and the businessmen, they play a heavy role in the politics of things. It's undeniable that several politicians have been pushed over the edge because of folks like you and Mike and Tyler Perry.
Tell me what you mean by pushed over the edge.
What I mean is more people supported because of their trust.
Over the edge of success.
Yeah. I'm talking about becoming the politician. I mean, actually getting placed into office or whatever. So much so that even when there's a crisis, you all are called out. Like, yo, get Tip and Mike on the phone or whatever, so on and so forth. How difficult has that been for you because of the fact that, of course, you still having your credit card is still good in Bankhead. You know what I'm saying? Y'all can move around wherever you want to move, but at the same time, it's a thin line because of the fact that you're dealing with you got to balance that shit. So how difficult is that because of the fact that you got the politicians over here and you all for all practical purposes, there'll be no surprise if Mike in particular or you run for office. You know what I'm saying?
No, I would never.
Okay.
I would never. I have no interest.
Word.
I have no interest. I have a genuine interest in helping the community, but I don't want to ever mix my words and misconstrue my message. I'm a businessman.
No doubt.
I'm a businessman. I feel like the best way to help the people in need is to not become one.
No doubt.
So if I could do better for myself, then I can do more to help others. And that's always been my position. I'm not interested in being a politician. I would love to seek and find and support the politicians who also have a genuine interest in helping the communities that we come from. But I ain't got no interest in being no politician.
No doubt.
None
Has there ever been
whatsoever.
any moments where it's like, damn? I mean, not even that. I'm just saying, like, well, maybe I shouldn't even speak on this shit right
Yes.
here. Or okay.
Absolutely. I'm gonna tell you something. And like, we have a critical election coming up, November 30th.
Andre and Felicia.
Yes. Early voting started today. And quite frankly, the cultural fabric of this city is being threatened. What we know Atlanta to be, which is the reason why a lot of people decided to move down here, which built up the business industry, built up the executive industry. You know what I mean? That's culture. That is the product of culture. And now that it's, how can I say, a sight for sore eyes, now that people actually deem it to be a respectable commodity, now that people actually can see value in it, they want to push the people who created this value out. They want to diminish the roles of the people who made it what it was to be attracted to the people who move in here. So I think that it's a pivotal moment. It's a pivotal moment. For me, myself personally, I don't care to control what another person does outside of me and my family. I don't care to control what you do. I don't care what you do if it don't affect me. I really don't. You know what I mean? If as long as you're not being a parasite to our community, you're not, you know what I mean, doing something to diminish, destroy, and to tear down some stuff that we work so hard to build up. I'm not trying to control you as far as how late you hang out, you know, whether or not you go to a strip club or a lounge, or whether or not, like, I ain't got nothing to do with that. But it's other people who would like to, because they want this city to be somewhat more of a
top city,
executive type city. Right now, Atlanta is a arts and entertainment city. You know what I mean? And arts and entertainment made it what it was. When nobody cared about what Atlanta had going on, it was arts, entertainment, and Home Depot. You know what I mean?
Without a doubt. Do you think
that's what put us here? And now they want us to kind of conform to whatever it may take to become. I don't know what they want it to be, but at the end of the day, man, I care about the city that I know and love. I care about where I grew up. I care about the people who are natives in the communities that I frequent. And I just don't want no people who aren't familiar with that or don't have respect for that. I don't want them telling us what to do or how to do it. So that's why it's very important that we get out there and vote and make sure that Andre Dickens is the next mayor of this city, because
I unite with Andre. I love Andre. I fuck with Andre, but it's just that one thing, that whole Cop City shit, that just got me fucked up. You know what I'm saying?
Cop City. Well, first of all, let me let you know this. There is no perfect candidate in no election. You're gonna always find shit that you don't like about everybody. But what can you relate to more? What can you relate to the most? And what seems most foreign to you? And now mind you, his opponent is a brilliant Black woman. And ain't nobody trying to discredit or diminish any of their ability. However, their intentions is to dismantle what we've had a heavy hand in building up. And that's something that me, you, or nobody else should lay asleep and allow to happen.
No doubt. Yo, I appreciate you coming on, man. You know what I'm saying?
Right
I
on.
mean, it took you 19 years, 26 months, 3 days and shit. You know what I mean? Like this nigga right here.
But we made it.
I know, nigga, we made it. Yeah, because the
But we
other day
made
I
it.
texted you, I'm like, man, the fuck you keep telling me all these damn dates and you ain't showing up. Then you like, yo, call such, text such and such. She gonna put it together, so on and so forth. I'm like, man,
And
this
she
nigga right
did.
here, boy. And she did. Shout out to such and such. I don't want to give
Dina.
all the
Shout out to
Dina.
man. One
Dina
time,
made it
Dina
happen.
Marto,
You know what I
man.
mean? Huh?
Anybody who need to get in touch with me, man, please don't call me.
I already know.
I'll tell you yes. I'm gonna
No
tell
doubt.
you yes.
Yeah.
But if you trying to get that shit done, don't call me about no dates, no calendar, because I don't really know what I'm doing from day to day.
I ain't calling you about none of that shit. I'm calling you about a drink or something.
You did? Hey, man, well, I'm going to enjoy my Earl Grey, man, for right now. What you drinking, though?
Man, ain't nothing but, I'm drinking tea, too.
Tequila.
Drinking that UN, that Uncle Nearest. That's what we
You
on.
dig what I'm saying? Hey, man, shout out to Kenny Burns and everybody at the Uncle Nearest team.
No doubt, no
Yeah,
doubt.
I mean, they've been working hard on that, man.
I'm trying to get them on next. You know, we definitely.
Man, Kenny he's a pillar to the community, man. And he's been, you know, boots on the ground, man. You know what I'm saying? Just doing everything he can to support the culture, man. And
no
you
doubt.
know,
Phone Weaver and all them.
A personal partner of ours.
No doubt, no doubt. Hey, man, stay on point, man. Love and respect, as you would say. You know what I mean? Stay on the right side of the barricades, and I see you out there in the world, my man.
You did.
All right, brother. Be safe out there. Salute to the family.
Yeah, in a minute, man. Love.
Indeed, no doubt. Checking out Riot Started TV. We just had the man TIP on. You know what I mean? And the beautiful thing is we had the opportunity to speak about real life. Sometimes we miss that part. You know what I mean? So definitely keep on supporting Black Power Media. We got a million more things coming up. I want to say a very important interview that will be happening on this Monday coming, which will be the 22nd, I believe it is. Yes, the 22nd. We have a serious piece around El Hajj Malik Shabazz, Malcolm X. You know what I'm saying? We know that a few days ago, there was an exoneration of two folks who were accused of being involved in that particular situation. I reached out to two of the foremost authorities on Malcolm, that being Paul Lee and the popular, famous biographer, Peter Goldman. So I have both of them on deck, and we'll be rocking that live. Appreciate y'all love and support. And again, make sure that you continue to support Black Power Media and Riot Started TV. We out. Salute.